Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is AP StarCraft and I'll be presenting another Zerg versus Terran video commentary. In this game we'll be putting my red Zerg in the bottom right corner versus my opponent's blue Terran in the top left corner. The map will be Jungle Basin, and I'm presenting this map on this game night, not because it's the best game, but it was a little bit of an interesting. As you can see, my opponent starts off the game by throwing a little friendly, "How you doing? Hello Virgin. How does it feel?" So this is going to be an interesting game, and I guess I was going to let you guys see. And even though it was not, the end game was not the best, the early game is going. I feel that it'll help some of you guys out a little bit. So a little bit of a unfriendly banter going back and forth between me and my opponent right now, calling me an ugly virgin apparently. Nice English idiot apparently for me saying you twice, but the yous were two separate sentences, so I have no idea what he's talking about. And immediately from seeing my opponent's little insulting that he's doing, I felt that my opponent was probably going to do something cheesy. He's probably going to do a Marine SCV Rush and tried to claim the game early on, and then start calling me laugh out loud virgin noob or some random bullshit like that. So I do take my expansion over here, and I'm also going to go scout out. I mean, even though I felt that he might be doing that, I felt that since my expansion was over here, that I'd be somewhat safe from it. And I go scout out his base. I see that he has a refinery up, but what I should have noticed is that he only had one SCV on the refinery, and this was he probably did this in order to try to fool me. I mean, it did fool me. I said, okay, I mean, I guess he's not going to do that cheese SCV Marine Rush, but so I go ahead and take his other gas over here, and this is going to give me, I mean, even though it doesn't do anything because he's not collecting any gas from his other refinery, it's going to give me a nice scout over here. So I have this other SCV, another drone over here chasing his other SCV in order to make sure that he doesn't try to place any bunkers down or anything. He's trying to pull back his SCV over here in order to kill my drone. I pull my drone back finally. So that's two drones off the mineral patch. And let's see how, oops, always do that. My opponent has orbital command, and he's calling down the mules. And let's just look over here. I have my extractor over here so I could keep a look at my opponent. My opponent's running some Marines down towards the middle, I guess making sure that there's no overlords over there. And over here, I noticed that my opponent pulled his SCVs over here, so I knew what was coming. So I got my queen out. I knew that he was going to come attack me with the SCVs and the Marines, so I had these otherlings scouting out his unit position. I lose them, unfortunately. I shouldn't have done that. I immediately placed, as soon as I could, I placed down a baneling's nest over here, and I placed down a spine crawler over there. And so right now, this amount of units is going to do a pretty good amount of damage on me, since I don't really have much units on the field at the moment. I have a good amount of links coming out. I have this spine crawler out, so it's going to look like it's going to shoo away his units a little bit. I had to pull out the drones in order to help me in dealing with this. I do a little bit of a surround over here. And let's see. The spine crawler goes up. He goes down to the ramp, and he is picking off my units. So I had to pull the drones back. I pulled them back to my main hatch, which is now protected by the spine crawler. My opponent decides to go for my expansion over here. Oh, I should have moved these two overlords away. It looks like I'm just moving him now. Hopefully he doesn't. No, I'm not even moving them. So it looks like I'm going to lose these overlords, unfortunately. But in the meanwhile, I'm making some banelings over here in my main. I have the spine crawler offering me some protection. I see that he's putting down the bunker over here. I'm pulling the spine crawler over here because this is the only way he's going to get out. And I'm going to poke away at this bunker, try to make sure it doesn't get done. And this is something else that you guys should try to do. Like, make sure that if your expansion is getting attacked, make sure that you're not making overlords over there because you're just going to lose them all. And I go in, I get around with the vein, is I kill basically all of his units over there. So let's look at the unit loss. He lost 1,600 versus my 1,200 resources, so I actually came out ahead. And I was able to counter that initial cheese rush fairly well. Let's see what I'm producing right now. I went on to start making more units over here. I mean, more drones. He has a significant amount of Marines right now. Army 175 to my 450. So if he kept pushing out, I would have just kept making Lings and Banelings. But I sent out these units up here to make sure to scout out, make sure that he's not attempting to push out. And as long as he's not pushing out, I'm not going to be making too many Lings. I'm going to be making drones and just ecoing up right now. So I'm playing the macro game at this time. I'm just going to keep sure that my opponent doesn't attempt to go in for another rush with the Marines and follow up, because the Terran often will keep attempting to do the rush if the initial rush fails, because even though they took a big SCV hit, oftentimes you'll take a big drone hit trying to defend, and with the mules he'll be ahead of you. I mean, right now I didn't lose that many drones. I don't know if I lost much of drones at all, if any. So it looks like my opponent is trying to go for another push right here. So let's see what's going to happen over here. What is going on right now? 23 drones versus his 12 SCVs. Production. I have these Lings on this tower, so I see that he's coming. I pull my Lings back, and I'm making additional Lings right now. Army count is, my army size is a lot smaller than his. Oops. Production. I have moved my spawn call up to the front, so he's going to pick away at his units. It's going to distract him for a little bit, just so that I could get additional Banelings, get additional units. And now I'm going to go in for this round. He can't run away. And I'm going to kill all his units right there. And let's see how the army size is looking now. So I did significant damage to my opponent's armor, as you can see. Even though he was ahead before, it is now 625 versus his 100 mineral army right now. So back to production. I'm building a Mutalisk, not Mutalisk, a Spire right now. I'm building a Spire. So I'm going to be doing some harassment, playing a macro game, drone up, etc. And right now, it's basically my game to lose. I mean, everything outside this is pretty much boredom, me running around. But even though it was my game to lose, I nearly did mess it up in this game, as opposed to the previous game where I casted due to some poor choice in army attacking and where to attack and when to attack. But let's see, nothing much happens right now. So I'm just going to drone up right now. Income wise is 27 to 19. I rebuilt my second hatchery over here. My Spire is about to go up, so I'm saving up some resources right now in order to. Oh, but it looks like I'm going no. Yeah, I'm saving up some resources. I guess I'm planning on spending them on a good amount of Mutalisk in order to go harass his base and do a little bit of damage, because it's really hard to break into a Terran's base when they have it walled off and they have the bunker and etc. I mean, that's something that I probably could do that would lose me the game if it didn't go right. Right? Try to Baneling bust his SCV, his supply depot, and get in there and try to kill him real quick. So that's not what I chose to do. I chose to kick back, play the macro game, put up the Spire, and start attacking with the Mutalisk. Do I have any Mutalisk on the field right now? Yes, I do. I have a few right now. And I'm going to be going raid my opponent with the 4 initial Mutalisk, and I am getting the Flyer Attack level 1 upgrade. And it looks like I'm also going to go claim an additional expansion to get my 3rd expansion. So it's always a good thing to make sure that you're expanding throughout the game, especially since my opponent has 2 expansions. I mean, not 2 expansions, 1 expansion. 2 command centers, so it's a good idea for me to get my 3rd hatchery up and running. And I decided to take this hatchery on the right middle-ish side of the map. For Zerg, it's kind of difficult in the early-ish game. Whoops, got cut off there. What was I saying? Oh, looks like I'm taking these Mutalisks and going in for a little bit of harassment over here. I don't recall. It looks like I did harass him over here, and my opponent had to stim his units over here in order to shoot my Mutalisk away. And it looks like they did quite a good amount of damage to themselves without medevacs. He just is getting medevacs right now. It's pretty significant blow to the army. But now he has medevacs. Looks like he's going to be able to heal up his units. I don't know how much energy is going to be taken up to heal all those units. It looks like it's not that bad. He's able to heal up basically all his units over here. So I'm just running around with my Mutalisk right now, continuing macro game, massing units, and supply locking myself, of course. And it looks like my opponent is attempting to go in for a drop right now, which is another reason why it's always good to have Mutalisk. It gives you a good sense of map control, and you're able to pick off drops such as that. And another thing I should have done earlier was send a bunch of overlords. Send an overlord here, have an overlord here, have an overlord hanging out here, another one over here, in order to be able to scout out any drops that may have been coming ahead of time. So I'm continuing building up the units. My queen has a little bit too much energy at the moment. I probably should be spending it better. This one too. And looks like my opponent is going for another drop once again. And I'm going to see that it's coming with this Ling over here. But I'm not going to be able to get to it in time. And I don't know if I lost a couple of Mutalisks over here. I don't think I did. But looks like I do notice the drop is coming now, and I'm trying to send the Mutalisks to come meet the drop ships, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get there before he's able to drop it. So I'm going to have some of my units that I had built over here come and meet it. I'm going to be able to clean this up pretty easily, no problem at all. As you can see, I was able to kill the units on the ground and kill the drop ships, no problem at all. So right now I'm just basically owning the game. The all-in strategy that my opponent did earlier in the game did not do enough damage in order to significantly hurt me enough